Hello everybody, Scott here, and welcome back for another 4-way edit. Today I'm going to be editing this picture of a dandelion taken in one of the local country parks around here. So same as last time, and hopefully with a lot of these 4-way edits, we're going to go for a cool image, warm image, something a little bit more funky, and then black and white. So let's get started. So this is a cool image, so I'm going to go straight towards the temperature, and I'm going to bring that right down. I'm going to go quite harsh on this temperature because I want to kind of get a ethereal look to it, moonlight glow coming in. Maybe just a touch more there. And as you can see, this image is probably quite underexposed by a couple of stops. So I could bring that exposure up a little bit, but actually I want to keep those dark tones on the image, so I'm not going to go too far. Then on to the contrast. I'm going to go quite high on the contrast, so I don't want like anything less than 0 for me is looking washed out straight away. And I want it to be quite sharp, quite punchy for the colours at the moment. Not a sharp image in itself, because I might play with the clarity a little bit later, but I just want to have that clear definition. Highlight wise, so I think if I go towards the sky, that sky's going to, there we go. So that sky's going to come out. But I kind of want to go really high on the highlights because I want to focus on the dandelion itself here and have that nice glow, nice aura on top of it. And shadows are going to come down just so we can get rid of some of that background, separate that out. Whites, let's go a little bit higher for those just to have that glow accentuated a bit, and some of the blacks of the shadows, let's get more separation. So this is really going just crazy on the contrast at the moment. Now I said about the sky, so I don't want this big white blob up here. What I kind of want to do is bring in a really kind of like, oh, wrong way. I just kind of want to overblow the image there. Oh, sorry for that. And give this effect that it's shining and glowing from the top. And what I'm going to do with that is duplicate. And just move that up a little bit. We get this really bright white negative space. A lot of light on the top of the dandelion there. Happy with that. But I don't want that to be the focal point of the image. So at the moment, dandelion's sitting pretty much in the center. And we'll see where we go with the other images. I might do a similar crop. It might end up totally different. But for this one, I definitely want to bring that dandelion up a little bit. So I'm going to take the image, just bring that crop down a little bit, put it into the top thirds of the image. And there we go. So I mentioned clarity earlier. I want to bring that down. Not a lot. If we go quite crazy, we can get like a really soft glow. I do want a little glow to this image. I don't want to lose too much definition. So we can have that. Let's see that a bit closer. That's looking good. And I really want to bring out some more blues in this image. So aqua blue. Let's go crazy on the saturation there. Okay, that's image number 1. Let's have a look at the before and after. There we go. Let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, on to image number 2. So this is going to be our warm image. So the reverse of last time, I'm going to take the temperature. I'm going to increase that right up. Now, this one, I want to have a lot more exposure in it, I think. And what I'm going to do after that, hopefully, is bring back some of the whites down. So this is going to go for that warm summer's day feel. I'm already thinking that I'm going to have a crop in there again. There's probably some purists screaming there, get it right in the camera first time. One day I will do that. Contrast for this, same. I'm a sucker for bright contrast. But we're going to bring those highlights down just a little bit. And bring those those whites down. Blacks, shadows. I think I'm fine with them. I don't really want to make this a dark moody image. So with blacks, maybe blacks can come down a little bit. That's kind of a nice vignette. And what I will play with first is a quick gradient along the bottom. And what I'm going to do with this gradient is take the exposure down quite a lot. So this is going to add more to that vignette we had a moment ago. And the temperature, I'm going to go even more so on there. Definitely brings out the oranges. Browns gives it a nice autumn vibe. Great for this time of year. Let's play with that. Do I want the crop? I think maybe not so much on this one. So something else noticeable on this image for me, this little pink flower is really not doing it for me. So I'm going to try and get rid of it. There's a couple of ways that I usually try and take attention off things like that. The first is I'll probably make sure we've got a vignette of sorts around our subject, but I don't want to go too crazy. A great tip that I saw recently for this is you keep an eye on the top left image, you'll know if you've gone too mental with this. So great way to do it. You can see there is a vignette there, not too much, but if I go a bit more on the exposure, that's going to start getting noticeable. And you know, that just looks stupid. So we only want the smallest bit just to kind of flush that out. Might bring saturation down ever so slightly outside of there. So that gives us our focus back on the Dandelion, and then I'm going to go into the HSL panel. Select the saturation of this little pink thing. So it's going to bring down the reds, maybe a bit of the oranges, hopefully not too much elsewhere in the image. There we go. So that's overall not affecting too much. You can see the stock gets affected. I'm not too worried about that. I guess for me it's mostly about the puffer head and the slight tones outside. There we go. So that's image number 2, before and after. Okay, image number 3. What to do with this? So I mentioned the exposure. Like if I was editing this as normal images, the first thing I'll look is go exposure. But as I go far out crazy, I know as soon as I do that, it's going to blow out that sky. I'm actually going to put in the crop straight away on this one, not the gradient, the crop. And I'm going to move it over to this side, so I don't have to worry about the little pink blob this time. And what I really want to do is change the direction of that light, make it look like it's coming from somewhere else. So we've kind of got we've cropped it quite heavily. There's a lot of negative space in the left of the image, but the focal point of the subject is the top right for me at the moment. And I just want to really light that up. Not blow out the highlights too much, so they should still be visible. And I'm going to do the same thing we did earlier with the sky. Yeah, that would be funny. And just bring that down, just to have this really nice white image. And then I might, just for the inverse, let's see how we can get away with this. I'm just going to bring that exposure down on that side a little bit, give it the tiniest little push. There we go. So it kind of frames our image between this light and dark. I'm going to leave the contrast. I'm going to put in quite a heavy S-curve. I want to give this that washed out look, but bring that back on the curve and see where we go. So I'm going to go quite down on the darks, but I don't want those darks filtered out, hence this. So I've changed the blacks or the shadows close to the S-curve. You'll see, like, take this back down. They'll be changing washed out, or they'll be further away from grey. Don't go purple. So I just want to give them a washed out look, but I am bringing the darks down. So if I leave that higher, very washed out, but I want just to bring those. So I like what's going on down here. Now, have I blown out that in itself a bit too much? Quite possibly. So I'm just going to go back to the highlights. Never going to get that. And just bring the whites down. Okay. And then open the vibrance. And that's picture number 3. Let's do the before and after on that. There we go. Okay, final picture, black and white. Straight away, change that to the black and white color, get rid of those colors. So for me, I've been cropping them so far, but actually with the black and white, because it takes that sky out a little bit, I quite like that. I might actually let's not put a gradient in. What I want to do is kind of play with that. I might come back and put a gradient in just because that sky's worrying me. But at the moment, I'm really liking the Dandelion head in itself. I'm just going to get those highlights up, get those whites up, make that really shine. And I'm going to increase the texture on this one. Maybe not too far, because you can see it's starting to get a bit too, I don't want to say grainy, but it doesn't look as appealing. So maybe about there. I'm going to dehaze it slightly. So give it a more of a, less of that kind of washed out look, more of a structural look to the little heads. So we can see the definition on those a lot better. Very, very tempted to do like a really tight crop like that, but I think I quite like all of the space around it at the moment. I'm trying to decide if the sky is distracting my eye too much, but I think I'm fine with it. I might go in, just bring it down a little bit. Bring it down a lot. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of it. That sky's gone. I think I'm good with that. I haven't done any color grading yet in this. I'm going to leave it this time, and I think we'll just leave that for the black and white. So before and after on that one. There we go. So as usual, thank you for watching. If you've liked what you've seen in this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and have a good day.